save the planet. That concept of saving the planet, which refers to getting off your ass and doing something. We also publish information at www.health-access.com. John does it over in the United Kingdom with articles on health, remedies, and general information going on worldwide and right here at home. This program is designed to help you keep your health and to show viable and inexpensive alternatives that can keep you and your family healthy and to alleviate or remove unwanted illnesses that may occur in our lives from time to time, making you aware that not all that's supposed to be safe is, and in some cases allowing to understand the hidden dangers and a possible solution, prevention, or protection of your health. I've been in the health food industry as well as a personal consultant and a bodybuilder trainer, assisting people in finding health solutions and using different healing modalities from different cultural themes, as well as on foods, herbs, supplements, vitamins, essential oils, and foods. You can access me by going to augmentinforce.com, augmentinforce.com. I also do personal consultations as well, whether through the internet, through the IMs, phones, personal visits, as well as in-house workshops for families, individuals, or groups. We have a link on the site at augmentinforce.com. It's a catalog link. Click on it. You'll see the full spectrum of things that we carry. We also carry t-shirts. We carry the flash drive. And we carry the anti-nano bucket. Soon to be carrying other materials to help, again, release the buildup of frequencies in the body. We also have herbal remedies and all kinds of solutions here at the store. So again, for more information, feel free to call me at 519-977-5351 or independz at yahoo.com. And again, if you have any health issues or questions you'd like to relate to, feel free to do so on the show at 208-935-0094. And today's date again is June 11th, 2016. And you know what? We are still here. And sometimes I come off in a very mocking way about this, but think about this for 1 minute. How many of you were born in the 50s and you're still here? Might be a little broken down, might be a little wear and tear on your systems, but you are still here. Now take a look at the kids today that are 15 and under. Take a hard look at them, because they won't be. When it comes to being here, when they're your age, they're not going to be here. They are going to be a forgotten experiment, a wash, a write-off, because they have no foundation to them whatsoever. None. And if they are following the mainstream information about health, they will terminate a lot faster. You're already seeing today kids 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, with diabetic issues, respiratory issues, digestion issues that a normal person in their 70s or 80s would have. What is up with that? What is up with that? Doesn't that make you go, something might be a little wrong? Doesn't that make you, just on some aspects or some level, make you say, there's something wrong with this picture? How is it that life expectancy was supposed to exceed 80s, 90s, is now 69.9? What's going on with that? That's not life expectancy. That's shortening of the lifespan. We started on the first half of the show talking about mutations. And we put up a site called Nanomark Assimilation. Now, I put this up 2 days ago, and I've already got, and they've given me a map, which is really interesting, which allows me to see the actual locations where people are actually hitting the site. And in just 2 days, I'm almost all over the planet already. I'm in South Africa, I'm in India, I'm throughout Europe, throughout different parts of the United States, northeastern, some central, southwestern, Canada, And it seems like the numbers are picking up down in Australia. It's amazing that this information is flying the way it is. People are reading it, and again, so should you. And so again, if you go on that site, it will show that you have hit. It won't show who you are. It doesn't show who the person is, but it does show a locale where somebody hit. So again, hit it so I can see where you're hitting from. Those of you in Florida or Arizona or whatever. When we're talking today about mutation, it starts in the atmosphere. It starts in the atmosphere. Okay, I gotta see if I got a message here. What is it? Yeah, well, someone's just saying on my Skype here that it's freaky what's going on. It is freaky, okay? And this, for those of you who are awake, okay, you've been given the opportunity of being awake for a reason, for several reasons actually. One of the reasons is so that you can save yourselves, okay? You can then prepare a solution to some of the things you're being afflicted with. If you aren't awake, I feel sorry for you, because the cancers and the autoimmune diseases that you're going to get hit with are going to be extremely painful. I will tell you this straight out. It is going to be a real PIA. Okay, but for some of you, it's going to take that to wake you up, which is okay. And for those of you who are awake and sort of sitting on the fence and don't know to do this or that or whatever, okay, you get afflicted with something, it's because A, you are not doing something, or you should be exercising more in regard to research and development. We are no longer part of this matrix, and the more awake you become, the further away you get from it. There is no going back to it. I will tell you what happens is those people who go back to the matrix once they've been awakened, the matrix then will start to seriously abuse them and basically suppress them so that there's no chance of escape the second time round. It's basically you've escaped from a gulag, you got caught, you got thrown back in, and the security measures on you are even worse than before. So, think about these things as I'm speaking. I'm not telling you this to put the fear of anything in you. I'm telling you this primarily because it's the truth. And primarily because you need to, again, start coming up with countermeasures. You need to understand what's going on. You need to study. This is a discipline that nobody has anymore, and initially it's going to be a difficult discipline because you're not used to it. You're so used to being programmed to go, 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 go. Okay? But you don't take the time to study or understand what you're going to. Then when you wake up, you still have some of those habits that you had from the past, which again, you've got to sort of shake off. Okay? You can still go, 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 but now you're going to go, 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 and instead of going with your backside, you're going to go with your top side. Okay, your brain. I keep telling everybody, you got a brain, use it. God gave you 2 hands, 2 feet, and a heartbeat, and a brain to activate it. Use it. You got a woman there called Tarzania. She tells all the time, use that brain of yours. Okay. Do not let fear polarize you. Fear will polarize a lot of you. And I'm saying this because it will happen. Now, once you get over it, and you're going to have a fear factor, okay? The idea that a system is in place to terminate your life or to come after you and exploit you with some form of experimentation is not something everybody looks forward to. Oh, I'm waking up tomorrow so that my government can screw me. Yeah, I mean, it does it anyway, but the point is, you don't, this is not something you want to think about. Or you should be thinking about. You should be thinking, okay, I got to get up, I got to take care of my family, I got to do this, I got to do that, and live a life, not being put in a situation where you're in war. We are at war. We are at a war. I mean, the Bible says, even biblically, it says there is no discharge from war. Why is it saying that? Some of those things that the Bible says, sometimes when they're way over my head, I look at it and think, what are they talking about? But I understand that concept very well. We are at war. Your very genetic code is being exploited. Your very being is being altered. Your very mindset is being programmed. You are being turned inside out through the television to accept whatever the system deems. Whatever the artificial intelligence decides to incorporate, to violate, or to disintegrate, whatever part of humanity you have, this is again being done on all levels. Your mind, your body, even the things you believe, the things you think are true. Because a lot of times you're assuming some things without really researching these things. Again, you've been given the opportunity to be awake. I thought about that, a couple weeks ago, or actually this last week. I was thinking about that, how, I am awake. Good thing I am awake. Because the alternative is not a good alternative. So I think a lot of times if you believe in God or if you don't believe in God, you might want to thank God for setting you free. Thank God for getting you out of that crap hole. But anyway, that's just my thinking. I'm rambling a little bit. All right, let's get on to this whole thing about nano. All right, I'm going to talk. Let's see, what am I going to talk about? All right, now, let's take a look at air pollution. We've all heard about air pollution. Air pollution, but because you have heard so much about air pollution and feel incapacitated to do anything about air pollution, you literally have become desensitized to the term. And again, this is done by design to, again, keep you in a state of numbness. If I keep exposing to something, eventually you become insensitive to it or desensitized. This is what they're going to be doing now with this transgender crap. I mean, they started off with that athlete, I forget, Bruce Jenner, and they made a big thing about him, and they gave him all kinds of awards and all kinds of attention. How does somebody get an award, seriously, for just changing their sex? I don't understand that. And seriously, this whole thing with the Nobel Peace Prize, you give a man a Nobel Peace Prize and then he start a war? Doesn't that kind of make you think, this whole thing's a farce? I mean, it's just my thoughts. Well, let's take a look at air pollution affects young people's psychiatric health. No way. Breathing the air can affect your brain? Breathing the air can affect your brain chemistry? No, say it ain't so. Researchers in Sweden have identified a link between air pollution and psychiatric health. Young people living in neighborhoods with poor air quality are more likely to be prescribed medications for psychiatric diagnosis. Now, when you research these things and you hear statements like this, the first thing that runs to your mind is, I am going to move away from the polluted city and I'm going to live out in the country. I'm going to move to the bush. I mean, I say it all the time. I'm so ready for the bush. But here's the but on this. When they talk about pollution, they're not necessarily referring to the pollution. They're referring to one specific sort of pollution. They're not talking about the overall air pollution that's going on with chemtrails, for instance. Chemtrails are spraying. No matter where you spray a chemtrail, it will eventually engulf the planet. For several reasons. One, the jet streams will carry them. Two, the chemtrails have a carbon base to them which is self-assembling and self-replicating. And with all the carbon in the atmosphere, it has everything it needs to perpetuate itself all across the planet. These things are not in these reports. So when you read stuff like this, you have to take in consideration what they're talking about and how they're referring to the research. The research that this is talking about is not complete by no stretch of the imagination, but it's giving you a specific parameter of just one aspect of pollution, one aspect, and how it can impact the body. Okay? So don't get caught up on, well, look, it's only about this, and I don't have this in my environment, so I'm okay. You're not okay. Look above. Look up. Look up. The Bible says, look up, for your redemption draws nigh. But you got to get past the chemtrail for that. But look up. See the chemtrails? What goes up must come down. Keep that in mind. All right. The area of research encompassed rural regions, as well as 3 large cities in Sweden, and studied populations including a wide variety of socioeconomic characteristics. Okay, they found that a 10 microgram per cubic meter increase in nitrogen dioxide concentrations accounted for 9% uptake in prescriptions written for psychiatric diagnosis. Can you imagine that? A 9% increase just from one chemical. One chemical. Okay, now think about this for a minute. One chemical increased drug use by 9%. What happens when you've got 43 of them? Interactive. Integrating. Gets to be a little bit on the mind-boggling side, don't you think? Just my thoughts. Okay. First and foremost, traffic-related air pollution may reduce psychiatric disorders in children and adolescents. They're talking about the reduction of pollution. Okay. Car pollution does produce nanopoisoning because the exhaust coming from cars and trucks are on a nano scale. Okay, so again, you can reduce it by catching a bus or riding, but nobody's going to do that today. That's really unrealistic. This is the oxymoron here that goes on. Gotta make sure we got the time. Okay, this is the oxymoron that goes on here. On one hand, they tell you that cars and trucks cause a high yield of pollution. On the other hand, you watch television, and what do they sell? They sell the automobile. GM pushes their product, Chrysler pushes their product, Ford pushes their product, Lexus pushes their product. Everybody, the Japanese push their products, the Chinese are going to be pushing their products. Everybody is pushing a product. And they make it seductive. In some way, somehow, they have made the automobile to look sexy. I've never looked at a car in any sexual way whatsoever. I can never put the two and two together. My brain just doesn't work that way. But that's how they have seduced people to thinking, oh, look, this car is so sleek and stylish. Oh, it's got this and that, and it's got covered seats, and oh, it's got all this. My thing with me is, does it run good? Will it break down very quickly? Because if it lasts long, I want it, and does it got good gas mileage? I don't care if it's a little Volkswagen Beetle. 99 years out of date. If it gives me performance, if it gives me economy, I'm in. Style and profile. If I want style and profile, I'll wear clothing. I'll wear sharp clothing. That's all I need. So again, keep this in mind. This is the oxymoron. You are being manipulated on a psychological area. Okay, the profiling, the activity, everything that's going on is in regard to the attacking on you. Again, you get 2 messages. One, air pollution is causing psychiatric disorders and drug increase. On the other hand, oh, you need this car. Oh, you need it. You got to have it. You got to have that $500 a month payment. You got to have that $3,000 a year insurance coverage. You got to spend at least $5,000 a year in gas. You got to have it. You got to have that bled out of your system. You got to be bled to death. Bleed. You got to have it. You got to feel the bleed. I catch a bus, cab, or friends give me a ride. Works for me. A cab fare for me. Every week. It's like $20-$30 a week, $120 a month if I need to go that much. Sometimes it's only like 40 or 50. And then compared to somebody owning a car, they spend that in 1 week in gas. So again, this is where using your brain comes into the play, and you don't leave a toxic footprint. So again, this is what they do. This is how they do what they do. So what we got here? So when I look at a car, I remember the old movie, The Car Which Brought Nothing But Death. Yeah, well, it's what it's doing. You know, the car, when you sit there and think about the automobile industry, it is one of the most haphazard industries for the environment. It really does have no value. I mean, I've seen cars being built. I used to work in the automotive industry picking up car parts about 20, 25, 30 years ago. And it's a filthy industry. I mean, it is just filthy. And when you get that new car smell basically is exhaust fumes that from the chemical reactions from the mixing of those chemicals to make the your insides, the seating, the panels, and all. That's all, and that takes 10 years to break down. 10 years of smelling that. Can you imagine what your lungs are getting, what your cells are getting? Another affront. Like I said, I live here in Windsor, Ontario, and we have the Detroit River, River Rouge on the other side. River Rouge has been killed by Ford. Chrysler and GM did their own fair share of destruction too, but Ford literally destroyed that body of water, and they've never cleaned it up. After all the trillions they have made over the last 30 and 40 years, they've never taken any of their money to repair the damage that they've done. They have left the biggest toxic footprint on the planet. And wherever they go, wherever there's an automotive industry in your community, you'll find that drug abuse is higher, crime is higher, prostitution is higher, corruption becomes higher. It's always just the case. No matter where you put the big three, these things follow. That's the way it is. So again, and I'm not knocking the automotive industry in that regard. This is just some observations I found from, again, having the exposure to it on some form or another. I don't think the car is anything more than what it is. Just a means to get you from point A to point B, and it should be sufficient. How come we can buy cars in South America and Europe and they last 30 years, and these cars in North America last 5? And how come the cars in Europe can get 70 and 80 miles to a gallon, 90 miles to a gallon, and here the best you can get is 35 to 40? Unless you got a 3-banger or a small little car that might get you like closer to 50 miles. How is it that is going on in Europe and not here? Because I did find out why that doesn't happen here. Because here everything's based on the road tax, and so they need to have the gasoline tax set at a certain height, and they have to have you burning so much gas in order to sustain the supposed highway system. But this is this is the game that's going on, and it's a joke. It's a huge joke. All right. What's going on? Yeah. Again, protect yourselves, okay? I probably should, before I go into the air pollution thing, I'm sorry I'm deviating all over the place tonight. I apologize. But I think I need to really get into this whole protecting your bodies more from the frequencies. Look, you have no haven anymore. Inside your homes, you're being attacked. Outside your homes, you're being attacked. You got these damn cell phones. I keep telling everybody you don't really need them. I don't have one. Don't want one. They can take the cell phone and shove it up their backsides. I'm not interested. But start making grounding equipment. If you find yourself in any pain in the lower back, get some aluminum foil. Put it on the ground, especially if you're around a lot of electronic equipment, computers, hospital equipment, high-end frequency equipment. Okay, put it on the ground, about 2 feet, and then step on it. Put on bare feet. Put both feet on it. And you will find that you may find almost instant relief from the stress that's going on inside of you because you're discharging that excess buildup in the body. When we're talking nanopoisoning, nanometals, this attaches itself to the myelin sheet of your cells, acting as a superconductor. It then starts to assemble a graphene-like material in the body, a carbon material in the body, which then acts and accentuates the conductive flow even stronger. So as a result, you have more cellular breakdown. Okay, now, what do you do to protect yourselves? Okay, you do need electrolytes, okay? So anything that has to do with salt, potassium chloride, magnesium chloride, calcium chloride, sodium chloride, these are salts. Use them. But you also need to use saturated fat. Cream, butter, coconut oil, lard, tallow, okay, sheep skins from the animals you're consuming, eggs, red eggs, unpasteurized milk, full-fat cheese. Now, for those of you who are compromised in the colon, okay, cheese has to, for you, you may need to take a enzyme to help break down the fat. Because, again, fat is where it's at, but, again, if your colon is already weakened, then you're going to need some enzymes to help break it down. If you consume too much fat, then start using foods that have a high saponin content, and that will wash down the fat out of the body as well. So things like yucca, sarsaparilla, saw palmetto. Again, make teas out of this. This will produce a soap-like material. You drink it, it's kind of bitter tasting. Coconut itself, lauricidin, monolaurin. These are all type of soap, okay, that the body can consume, which can help, and again, in the reduction of fat buildup as well as cortisol buildup. It can help reduce this. So again, but maintain a good fat. Omega-6 is the fat you want, not 3. That omega-3 was such a line of horse hockey. Complete bullshit on every front, because all that does is super oxidizes the cells, causing the cells to break down even further. If you're looking for DHA, get hazelnut oil. Okay, come on back, and we're going to further talk about how to defend against mutations. The word mutation. Okay, come on back. See you in a bit.
That's 1-800-873-1620. This is the Micro Effect. www.themicroeffect.com.
Back. I like this telepathy thing we got going on here. It's awesome. Alrighty. Talking about mutations. Okay. For those of you listening in the audience today, I have a homework assignment for you all. This is your homework assignment, so pay attention. And you have to have it done by next week. So you got 7 days to work on finding out mutations and anti-mutations. Okay? I'm trying to teach you to arm yourselves. I'm trying to teach you how to look at stuff. Look at ScienceDirect.com. Look up anti-mutations. Look up free patents online. Type in anti-mutating or anti-mutations. Do not use Google. If you use Google, you will be disqualified. We will beat you with a wet noodle because Google is nothing but a lousy marketing search engine. It's great if you want to sell stuff and buy stuff, but not good for information. I want you to be innovative. I want you to start thinking outside of Google. We had good search engines before Google came along. I wish they were still here, like Navigator. Yahoo may be gone now. Somebody's trying to buy Yahoo, so that's going to be probably the last standing search engine. I mean, there used to be Excite, Alta Vista, and some of the other ones, but I don't know if they even function anymore. Just the information network that we've had for so long, that we had free and clear access to, is becoming more and more controlled. So try to start now stockpiling and storing your information. Do not put it up in the cloud. You put it up in the cloud, you have lost your control of your data. Keep that in mind. Always have a backup. Always, always, always. All right. I'm pointing this out. There you go. So I want you to start looking up things like anti-mutation, anti-carcinogen. Okay? I want you to teach me what you learn, what you know. And now we can discuss some of the things that are going. I see we can make this program a more interactive program. I'll give you an assignment. You start thinking about it. I even gave you a clue with BHT. BHT. They told you it was dangerous. How about copper? Copper is also anti-mutating. How about zinc? Zinc is also anti-mutating. How about vitamin C? Vitamin C can reverse the damage of mutations. Ooh, can you dig it? I want to help you, show you how you can defend against these things. How about rosemary and sage and thyme and savory and oregano? Did you know they were also anti-mutating? How about garlic, onion, leek, and chive? Did you know that they too, and shallots? Did you know too that they too were anti-mutating? Okay? Why am I saying this to you? Because you need to be forearmed. One day, the internet may come under communist control. When I mean by communist control, I mean fascist control. corporations will eventually control this internet from pillar to post. Right now, it's still running wild and free. It is now, they're trying to rein it in. So, you need to do your best to start stockpiling this data, keeping it in backups. Back up your backups. Hard copies, DVD discs. DVD discs are not subjected to an EMP pulse. They can survive an EMP pulse, but they are susceptible to hot and cold. So keep them in a steady, safe environment. Okay, these are things you want to start doing. These are things you want to start to save. I got a 5 terabyte hard drive that I keep filling. Going to need another one pretty soon. If somebody told me 20 years ago that I was going to need 3 to 5 terabytes of a backup, I would have told them, you're crazy. What am I going to do with all that? What am I going to... I'm not watching videos. I'm not playing games. Just on data research alone that I've done, I have probably forgotten more than most people will ever learn in a lifetime. So, again, back up your backups. Start studying. Start storing. You never know one day how things may come to a point where you're going to have that information at your fingertips and you're not going to find it online anymore, or in order to access that information you are going to have top security clearance in order to get it. They've already shut down a lot of torrents. A lot of the torrents were giving out all kinds of data. I was fortunate enough to be part of that able to access that while it was still here. Today, you were able to download programs, Adobe 9, Office suites, whatever. It was great. I miss those days. I'm a bandit. What can I tell you? Mutations. And then, when you look up anti-mutations and mutations, then start looking at what can cause mutations. What is cancer? What is a cancer exactly? What is a cancer exactly? It is a mutation in the cell that then expands and infects or mutates other cells. Okay? That's what cancer is in a nutshell. What causes the mutation to cause a cancer are wide and varied. It can be anything from a metal overload, a chemical overload, an endocrine overload. It's basically a poison overload in the body where the body can no longer access what it needs and then starts feeding on the junk that's being put into it, which alters the genetic code or the DNA, and then it causes the body to respond as a result of that interaction. I feed the body a pollutant, the body can no longer fight it off. It now uses that pollutant as part of its genome. Now it converts that component into other things. Okay, fungus doesn't cause cancer. To be honest with you, fungus is the result of having cancer. There are so many things that can cause a cancer, because when you're talking what a cancer really is, it is a mutation. These other things that they're talking about, fungus and bacteria and parasites, back in the 90s, Hilda Clark had a book out, Cure for All Diseases, and it was talking about cancer. And her thing on cancer was she saw these tiny little flukes, which she thought were parasites. But what she was actually seeing was the nano biointegration, the synthetic life running around. And then she gave you a whole list or whole parameter in her book of things to avoid that could stimulate the activity of this genetic anomaly. But parasites are not the only thing that can cause a mutation. So, when we're talking, this is why I want you to be awake, aware, and not caught up on the local jargon that's going on today. It's all about making a sale today. It's all about getting in an active audience. It's all about seduction. When I see these guru doctors getting into this industry, I don't know what. It bugs me so much these days because the early doctors that got in were actually trying to find the solution. When Pauling got in with vitamin C, boy, was he attacked because they knew that vitamin C, ascorbic acid, not this whole food crap that they're selling, but the real deal, ascorbic acid, had a record going back as far as 1939, resolving and fixing things. He had a cancer of the spleen and lived to 94. That's pretty bloody good. That's pretty good. The guy that invented and found Lugo's iodine, Mr. Lugo, he lived to the ripe old age of 94, and he was taking 1,000 mils of iodine a day. And here they're telling you it's dangerous and it's poisonous. Oh my gosh, you're going to die. Oh man, you know. And iodine is also anti-mutating. It's probably why I still got my rugged, handsome features, because of the iodine. I haven't mutated to some kind of distortion yet. Like I said, you need to protect yourself, but in order to do that, you have to understand the nature of the attack. You have to understand the nature of what's going on. You have to understand the nature of how you're being violated. So, you are going to look up anti-mutations, and you're going to look at copper as an anti-mutation, zinc as an anti-mutation, iodine as an anti-mutation, boron as an anti-mutation, vitamin C as an anti-mutation, rosemary as an anti-mutagenic. That's another term you can use, anti-mutagenic. Anti-mutagenic. Because once you stop the mutations from occurring in your body's DNA can go back to where it's supposed to be. It can reboot. Now, there are products out there today that are supposed to act as an anti-aging process, and some of them have an anti-mutation element to them, and that's why they work. But be aware that a lot of these companies, especially if they're an MLM, will have titanium dioxide in their capsulation, which then bypasses the brain barrier, which can cause, again, lobotomy of the brain. It can also bypass the blood barrier of the testicles, causing testicular cancer. Okay, so this is the hijacking going on. So this is why when I tell you to read your labels, and you see that, oh man, I got all this good stuff. I got green tea, and I got rosemary, and I got milk thistle, and I've got schizandra and I got turmeric. Oh, and I got some vitamin C and some NAC and alpha lipoic acid. And they got all this, and then at the end it's got microcrystalline cellulose. Polymer made from trees. Can't break it down. And builds up in the body. Oh, we got hypercross carmelose, another polymer. Oh, we have aluminum lake, metal. Wait, what's that? Titanium dioxide. Okay, soy. Oh, we have some soy in that. Okay, learn to make your own. Okay, learn to make your own. Capiche? Be the kitchen alchemist. If I can do it, and all I am is just a guy who knows some stuff, so can you. So can you. All it requires is that you use your brain and apply what's going on. Okay, Tony, is intake of self-urine or cow urine any good for one's health? In today's time, I'm not really sure on it, because the body's excreting out of it nanoparticles. So you would have to filter it first, and then maybe add a little peroxide to it and use. But if you're going to do that, I would suggest use your own urine, cow urine. Now you're talking hormones. The cow is going to piss out the hormones, right? So I would probably stick to your own urine. Your own urine will have your own antibodies, will have your own hormones and stuff. And the way you would filter it, again, you would put your urine in a container, put it in a blender that I probably specifically designed as my urine blender. Add oil to it, blend it up, about an ounce of oil, maybe 2 ounces, depending on how much you're putting in there. Blend it up, and then let it separate, and then pour it out, and then add peroxide, and then use it. This way, at least you have agglomerated or aggregated the nanoparticles that may be inside of you, because your body is flushing this out, so you don't really want to be drinking that and putting it back in. I'm familiar with urine therapy. I don't think you should be using it daily. I think it's one of those things to use as needed. Or let's say you're in the middle of the desert somewhere and you got hit with some kind of infection, then I would use it. Not something that I would go out of my way to do on a daily basis, because I know how loaded I am with toxins, but it can be done. I knew a woman that was drinking other people's urine. Again, that can be extreme, but her reason was that other people had antibodies in their system that would, again, boost her immune system. And that's where she was coming from with it. Again, not something I would encourage, but if you had to do it, I would say that's how I would do it. Okay, so again, remember, we're dealing in the year 2016. So do not get caught up on some hyperbole or whatever about what is healthy today. This is why I'm telling you to start looking up this term mutations and anti-mutagenic or anti-mutation. So that you can now have an awareness on what's going on. I'm going to see here real quick. One thing I like about this show, I can be multiplexed. Okay, anti-mutagenic. So I typed in anti-mutagenic, and you get all kinds of different things going on here. Compounds and their possible effects. See, and the NCBI. So again, even when you read the studies, keep in mind how it works, what they did to make it work. Okay, and then copy the process, and then learn from it. Let it teach you what to do. Okay, let it sort of follow the lead on it, so that you have at your disposal what is required to make it work, and then tweak it as needed. It's the anti-potential of curcumin as again, anti-mutagenic potential for chromosomes. Again, these are things that you can start looking at. Phenols that have anti-mutagenic properties to them. Let me see here. Because that in itself is one of the reasons why we are having the issues we are having. We are having the problems that we are having in getting rid of some of the stuff, because the nanocomposites that we're taking inside and the nanometals we're taking inside is further causing this mutation effect to occur in our bodies because of the high level of saturation, which then overloads the system, and we start to mutate. And at that point, we begin to expire. Okay, trying to get you to think in those terms: expiration, not death. We shouldn't be dying, but we are expiring. And it may be someone might say that's a play on semantics, but it really isn't. All right, where are we here? Okay, before I go on, I'm always talking about the Micro Effect Broadcasting Network, about offering your support, giving them your support, doing what you can to keep the radio going and flowing. Okay, you got Linda at Natural Earth. I'm always telling you about shopping at the farm. She does. She gets it direct from the farm. Get it directly. Get your foods direct from these people that supply and access to the farms. 519-980-5995. Then you got John over there in the United Kingdom, www.health-access.com. He's over there publishing and doing things over there on health. For those of you in Europe, give a look-see and see what's going on. Go to byebyebluesky.com. Susan Mars got a site up about what's going on, about the mutations in the atmosphere, the environment with chemtrails and other things. She's even got illustrations there of people who've used the bucket and what they're pulling out of their skins. So again, check her out. Again, byebyebluesky.com. Then you've got me here down here at 519-977-5351 or independz at yahoo.com. We have a website, augmentinforce.com. We have a catalog link in that site. Click on it, see what's there, see what you might need. We sell the t-shirts. We've got the bucket. We've got the flash drive, 32 gig flash. We've got DVDs as well. So it's all in one package. You take a look and see what's there. And again, if you're interested, again, 519-977-5351 or independz at yahoo.com. And if you need any kind of consultations, we also do that. And if you have Skype, it makes it easier because then I can send files and folders to you as needed. Alrighty. Again, feel free to contact. Okay. Keep my eye on the chat room. So there we go. People are communicating. People are exchanging ideas, which is good. This is what we need to do. So keep things in mind, keep things going, keep things flowing. Okay? Be aware of what is happening. When the very air you're causing is increasing psychiatric damage on young people, then that's telling you something is really wrong. And this is where the need to get involved to make a change, because the environment on the planet cannot sustain this kind of mutation. It's being altered on a genetic level. It's being altered on a nano level. And again, this cannot continue to keep on moving in that realm without something going wrong. And as I said, as the earth mutates, so do we. Because the things that are supposed to sustain life and sustain our specific type of biology will alter our biology. When we've been eating all this genetically engineered crap that they have promoted and put on, that's going on, again, it's going to affect us. Tony, what is your vitamin C made from? Probably corn. I know they're saying they got some non-GMO vitamin C, but so far I've not seen any issue with the vitamin C so far. It's still working well. I've not seen any side effects. I prefer getting it from a non-GMO source, but again, I'm not sure about some of the new and improved products. I have basically sort of kind of walked away from some of the new and improved ideas because the majority of the new improved ideas don't work and quite frankly are a big ripoff. So I'm sticking to what so far there is. If I do come across something that is better, then I will use it. Tony Squirrel has bladder infection. What do you recommend? Walmart. Go to Walmart. Take out the old bladder. Get in a new one. Good as new. No more problems. Go get some thyme and bay leaf. Make some teas. Use things like turpentine. 1 ounce of turpentine, 5 ounces of oil. Mix it up, and then use teaspoon increments of this. You can also take essential oils orally as well. You can use things like pine, balsam fir, lemon. Any of them will work. Lemongrass, again, add a drop of essential oil, any one that I mentioned. Even peppermint in a teaspoon of oil. And consume it. You must, and I cannot say this, emphasize this enough, all grains, all breads, all pastas, rice, cereal, corn, no millet, no quinoa, none of that crap, all must be eliminated, even buckwheat. No canola oil, no soybean oil, no soy-based products. That should clear up relatively quickly. You can use tinctures like black walnut. You can use tinctures like cloves, cinnamon tinctures, ginger tinctures, rosemary, sage, thyme. You've got lots of ways of knocking that out. But the big key here is no bread, no grains. What about C from powdered rose hips? You don't get enough vitamin C in powdered rose hips. That's a big joke. It's a huge joke. Vitamin C is heat sensitive. So when they're taking what they're getting in the rose hip, that is effective. It has benefit. Is the bioflavonoid, but you're not getting enough vitamin C in there to really do anything. And vitamin C is very crucial in even your adrenals and protecting the body. So I don't don't buy the vitamin C from rosehip. It does have benefit, but not for vitamin C. It does have a high bioflavonoid benefit to it. That is true, but vitamin C is nominal at best. At best. It's just like when they tell you you're buying this Amla vitamin C and you're buying this Camus vitamin C. When the fruit is fresh, you have about 3 grams per berry or per fruit. When you dehydrate it, it goes from 3 grams down to 900 milligrams per 15 gram serving. So it's not even cost effective. So in other words, 1 tablespoon will only give you 900 milligrams. Where if I take a teaspoon of ascorbic acid, I've got 5,000 milligrams. Big difference, big effect, a better effect. So again, don't get caught up on that hocus pocus, because that's all that is. Again, it's what it is. Again, acerola. What is acerola? It's a fruit. Again, it's not going to give you the vitamin C. Look, you are dealing in genetic times, and you're dealing with nanotimes. These things are not going to work like you guys have been deluded to believe. You've been seduced with this. Get over it. They're not going to deal with the things that you're going to have to deal with on the levels you need to take. You would have to take 10 times the amount of that acerola as 1 teaspoon of ascorbic acid. It just doesn't work the way they tell you. Again, you're dealing with more of a bioflavonoid effect rather than the actual ascorbic acid. So again, it's what it is. It's a game. Okay, hold on a second. What's going on? Oh, time to go. Okay, listen. Show's over. Just got the message. We're doing this mental telepathy thing tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Again, save your seeds, share the health, exchange ideas, and your assignment for next week is mutations and anti-mutagenic or anti-mutation. All right, till then, thanks for tuning in. Take care.